certainly individuals on both sides of this divide have proven capable of, and in our view, guilty of acts of terror. We've certainly seen some reports of security activity that could indicate the potential excessive use of force.
Well, those words from U.S. State Department spokesperson John Kirby, the latest chapter in the tense relationship between the Obama administration and the Israeli government. Joining the Hardline from the ground in Israel, a blogger with the Israel National News, author of Sparks from Zion, and former mayor of Shiloh, Israel, David Rubin. Now, David, in your blog on IsraelNationalNews.com, you strongly reject the premise the Israeli government is using excessive force. What is the U.S. not understanding when it comes to the State Department?
Well, they don't seem to understand that it's just the opposite. It's really just the opposite. Israel is not using enough force in countering this terrorism. It's been going on for about 2 weeks. We've had about anywhere from 3 to 7 terrorist attacks every day in which people have been killed or wounded. Israel's government is not using enough force in countering the terrorism.
Well, you write the jihadists only respect the language of strength. You say it's time to burn the ground under their feet and have them plead on their knees for Jewish mercy. How do you accomplish that? What specifically are you calling for the Israeli military to do?
Well, let's get down to the specifics. First things first. All of the terrorism has been emanating from the terrorist organizations. It's not a spontaneous day of rage that we have here, even though they like to use that term here and there. What we're having is terrorism that is being directed and initiated and incited and financed, most importantly, by the Palestinian Authority. They've been doing it for about 20 years. A terrorist cannot attack a Jew or kill a Jew or wound a Jew in Israel without getting a financial reward from the Palestinian Authority. So that has to be the address when we start to fight terrorism. And the first thing that should be done is to go right to the headquarters of Mahmoud Abbas, the biggest arch terrorist in these times, a very good liar. He speaks very well about how he wants peace, and when he speaks in English, and occasionally when he speaks in Hebrew. But when he speaks in Arabic, he calls for war. When he speaks in Arabic, he calls for terrorism and stabbings in the streets of Jerusalem. So it's time that we make him the address. He has a headquarters in Ramallah, a big fancy building called Mukata. I think it's time that Israel start by attacking the Mukata, take out all their computers, which will prove their complicity with the terrorism, take out all of their weapons, confiscate all of their weapons, and confiscate all of their leaders, and arrest all of them, every one of them, then level the building to the ground. That's a good start.
David, as you talk to your countrymen, what exactly are they feeling? What is their opinion? Do they echo some of the sentiments that you have, that this aggression needs to be met with more aggression?
Oh, absolutely. On the street, people more and more are understanding this. And in fact, about 77% of Israelis in the most recent poll said that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not being strong enough in dealing with the terrorism of the past 2 weeks. It's clear. It's clear that Israelis want stronger action. And frankly, you have to have disproportionate action. This is a war that is being carried out against us by the Palestinian Authority, by the Hamas terrorists, by the Fatah terrorists, by the Islamic Jihad, and yes, by ISIS as well. And it's time that we start countering it with disproportionate force. I know disproportionate force is a bad word these days in the age of political correctness, but what we need is disproportionate force, because that's how you win wars. The prime example being World War II. Obviously, we're not yet at that point, but World War II, when the Allies started bombing Dresden and Berlin, that's when the war ended. because there was disproportionate force being used. The enemy became frightened, and the enemy surrendered, and the white flag started going up. That's how you win wars. Yes, you get them to plead for mercy.
All right, David, we literally have like 15 seconds. John Kerry is going to be making a visit to the region. What do you want him to say?
I don't want him to say anything. I want him to turn around and go back to Washington. I don't think that he has anything good to do here except to pressure Israel and to meet with Abbas, who is, as I said, if Yasser Arafat is the father of modern terrorism, Mahmoud Abbas is the son of modern terrorism.
All right.
I don't think we need John Kerry here right now.
We got to leave it with that. David Rubin, thank you very much. The book is Sparks from Zion. Thank you. We're coming right back here on Hardline.